if we pull out slightly in that vision and we look at the bigger picture in terms of global prohibition, a lot of it started with Harry Anslinger, and he was the head of the prohibition people in the States. And when prohibition ended, he was out of a job. So that's why he was looking around for what can I ban next. And then he decided to target the Mexicans and the blacks for the use of marijuana and to demonize those things, because the people were functioning, quite happily as an adjunct to their life without it becoming destructive. But because it became criminalized and persecuted, it became a thing. And then he extended that in the rise of the 60s and 70s by basically pushing. Well, he coupled prohibition. So marijuana became prohibited across the world. If you would, hang on, let me just get this right. You would only be given USA food aid if you prohibited.
Okay,
and it was also linked with the fight against communism. So there's all this political push from the Americans to globalize this prohibitory regime. And in the 1970s, what they really tried to do is they tried to take it to the UN, and they did, saying, here are all the substances that are potentially dangerous or consciousness changing. We want to ban them all, because they'd already gone through the counterculture in the late 60s and how threatening that was to the establishment, because people began to wake up, essentially, and began to question. And so they really tried to impose the restriction of DMT and all this and other elements, except some countries like Peru and Ecuador and said, sorry, this is our patrimony. This is part of our natural
this is sacred
cornucopia.
For us.
Yes, we can't go along with your American ideas. We are not going to ban our heritage. So Brazil in 1986 questioned this and said, how can we ban this? We can only ban it if there are legitimate reasons. It was socially disruptive, or it was physically, there was actually health issues. And so they did a long-term study on people who had been with the Santo Daime Church, which is a syncretic church in Brazil. And they found, this is so brilliant, that those people who had been long-term participants in these things were cognitively enhanced.
Amazing.
Which in layman's speak is they were smarter than the control group. They're actually smarter.
Amazing.
And secondly, they were more embedded in community. They were actually pillars and drivers of social cohesion. So the Brazilian authorities said, we have no health reasons or criminal reasons to ban this, and so they legalized it. So when you look at the kind of rationales of prohibition of something like DMT, which is contained within ayahuasca, they're very flimsy. They're not really rational. Whereas they do, if they're adhered to, they do contribute to the control of the people.